Hello everyone, Michael Scott, Scotty Man Photo. I thought I'd take a few minutes and tell you why I think L brackets are an essential part of landscape photography. So first, what is an L bracket? Well, simply put, it's a bracket that goes on your camera and allows you to place your camera in a horizontal or portrait orientation on a tripod. And the thing about the L bracket that is, I think, so spectacular is it's just the ease of use. And I think more importantly, what it allows you to do is put it on your tripod without having to reposition the tripod head. I'll kind of show you here what the main thing is. So we can put these on our tripod, but the L bracket allows, it just gives me full mobility of the camera without having to kind of drop the tripod down. And basically there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to do that. But one is the stability. You can just kind of see that on the tripod. It's not the most stable. The tripod is stable when the camera is sitting right at the top of the apex of the tripod. And it's solid. But that's not really why I use it. I really use it because it's easy to switch from landscape to portrait orientation. And that is what makes it L bracket so special, is because it's just so easy to switch it. And most of these have some type of mark on them, that this kind of center mark. And basically what that mark does is it marks the center of the lens, so that you can actually put this on your tripod. And a lot of the tripods, I don't have the really right stuff tripods, but they actually have a mark. And a lot of clamps do, a little mark there that you can use to kind of line up that center mark, so that when you take your camera off the tripod, you can put it right back on and align those marks and get right back to where you were. And the thing about this is that you can move your camera from one orientation to the other and not really have to worry about recomposing the image or losing height on your tripod from having to drop it because you basically are using a clamp. And when you drop it, you lose height on your tripod. And that's not ideal, I should say. One of the other things about the L bracket, as opposed to just a regular plate, is, and this is probably really why I switched to L brackets and started using them exclusively on all my cameras. I use it on my DSLRs, my SLR, I use it on everything. I even have one on the Canon M50 that's filming this right now. And it's just, that versatility is great. But the problem is really the plate itself, and using just a plate on your camera. When you put the plate on just the camera, the real problem is this, is that get the plate in the clamp, that's all great. But then when you reposition your camera, the issue is that the camera can drift, can actually shift. So you may not realize this either, is that you've got your camera set up on your tripod on a plate, and what's actually happening, because there's really no support to really hold the camera other than one screw. And what I had found was, especially with a big, long, heavy lens, is that you get drift, and your camera will slowly drift down and totally blow your composition. So especially if you're doing any kind of long exposure, bracketing, those things can really throw you off. So I just don't have that issue when I'm using the L bracket. And that's the main reason why I really support and advocate for using the L bracket. And I really think that for landscape photography, the L bracket is just an essential kit item. I think I've mentioned this before in other videos. It's just one of those things that I just can't do without. And I can't imagine not having L brackets on my cameras. Okay, there's a few other benefits to having an L bracket that I think are just critical. And one, and not all L brackets offer this feature, but most L brackets have some devices that you could attach, maybe cabling support that'll allow you to kind of support your cables or other devices, microphones or whatever you want to mount. You can do that on the side of the L bracket. So there are some accessories that you can use with the L brackets, which I think are okay. But one accessory that I really use and value very much is basically this QD strap, quick disconnect. And I know I've mentioned this before, and this is a Really Right Stuff product. I'm not plugging Really Right Stuff, but I do like their stuff. But anyway, what this allows me to do as a landscape photographer, I really don't want straps on my camera and just kind of dangling about as I'm out taking pictures on a tripod. But occasionally I do like to sling my tripod, and especially if you're a street photographer, this might really be nice, where you use a tripod sometimes, but then sometimes you don't. But when you want to carry the camera, I don't want to have to put the straps back on it. So this QD strap basically allows me to kind of snap that in there and then just kind of sling the camera. I can throw it over my shoulder or over my head, or however I want to carry it, but I have that option with these L plates, L brackets, and I'm sure there's many out there that might support these QD straps, but Really Right Stuff and their strap just really works well together, and that's one of the other reasons that I selected Really Right Stuff too. One of the other benefits of having an L bracket is, and I mentioned the cabling, is that you can actually slide this L bracket out to make access to your cables. If maybe you have it set up at home, tethered to your computer, or you're using an HDMI cable, I can actually open the door and access those ports here with the bracket mounted kind of squarely on the camera. But I can also pull this bracket out just by loosening the screw in the bottom, just sliding it out, and have easier access to the cable accessories, or the cable ports I should say. So that's another, it's a benefit. I mean, I think a lot of people look at L brackets as getting in the way, but they really don't. They're certainly, I wouldn't say they hampered me in any way. They're just extremely valuable to me, and I don't use cables a lot, so that might be different for you. One of the other things I wanted to mention was, oh yeah, almost forgot. You can buy these L brackets to fit on battery grips too. And that's great, because you can just pop off your L bracket here, and then you can just pop on your battery grip, and you're fully equipped with an L bracket as well. Now, you know, there's an expense to buying an extra L bracket, but in my opinion, and certainly if you're using a battery grip, I wouldn't say I use it a lot, but when I do use it, I use it probably more on my D800, but when I do use it, I really like to have that and have the QD strap available on my L bracket when I'm using my battery grip too. So I do use a battery grip every now and then, and I really like having an L bracket on that, so super important. Okay, a little bit more on the specifics of the L bracket. You can kind of take a look right here, and what you'll see is this L bracket is specifically designed. I think I bought this one initially on my D800, and it's specifically designed and contoured to the D800. And this edge here is, I think, the key to a successful L bracket. And the universal L brackets really don't have that, or at least they don't fit as snugly on the camera body. And what that does is it really prevents the camera body from shifting around on the L bracket. So there's no movement at all on this L bracket. So you get it tight, but you also have that ridge that kind of lays alongside the camera to prevent it from actually turning any at all. And I really like that feature. Well, in summary, I would put it to you like this. I would say the L bracket for me is just an extension of the camera. It's not really an accessory for me. It's just part of the camera. It just seems like if I bought a new camera today, in the order of priority, this would be one of the #1 things, if not the #1 thing on my list that would go immediately on my camera. Because when I'm in the field, and this is what it's really all about, It's about capturing the image, and I don't want to be fussing around with the camera or a tripod trying to get the camera in position to capture the image. And so the L bracket just simply makes that, it takes all the trouble out of it, and it makes it much easier to concentrate on my image, and that's the #1 reason why I like L brackets. So also I would say, I can't imagine having a camera now, having used an L bracket, I can't imagine having one that doesn't have an L bracket on it. So, and that's kind of the way I think about it. So in the order of priority, as far as what I'm doing out there in the field, capturing the image is #1, and then #2 is kind of manipulating my gear so that I get the most use out of it. And it's easiest, it's just the easiest in the field, so I'm not fussing with things. And so that's why I really think L brackets are the way to go. So, well, anyway, I guess that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video. But hey, if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing. And drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And as always, if I don't see you down the road, maybe I'll see you on the trail.